What's up, you guys? Welcome to One Piece Hypothetical Battles. For some of my older subscribers, you guys probably remember that I've previously delved into One Piece battle videos before, but I've canceled that series years ago because of the subpar quality of the videos. They weren't as thorough or as detailed as I wanted them to be for the series. So I rebooted the series and now I'm reintroducing it back to the channel, and I don't know any other way to really start this off other than to do a video on the two greatest powerhouses in One Piece, Byrnndi World and Zephyr. Let's go. For starters, Byrnndi World was a powerful and infamous, fearsome pirate of his time. The dude was absolutely ruthless enough to attack anyone who crossed paths with him, whether they were a pirate or a marine or a world noble. At the end of the day, you still kind of got those hands. And quite easily, you earned a bounty of 500 million and the epithet of World Destroyer. Which is quite understandable, because if a guy is willing to put them hands to beings considered gods in the One Piece universe, the most powerful and influential group in the One Piece universe, making the biggest moves, then nothing's out of bounds or off limits to this guy. So the world government went to great lengths to stop World. They enlisted an alliance of pirates that didn't like him, marines, Cypherpole, anybody that was willing and able to fight this guy. He was pretty much ruthless. And even with this alliance assembled, Byrnndi World and his crew still had the upper hand in battle with them. And the only way Byrnndi World actually went down was when Cypherpole managed to sway half of his crew to do a semi-mutiny against him. And even then, World still managed to defeat his mutinous crew, with the other half still loyal to him, and Byrnndi World still heavily injured. The Cypherpole managed to pretty much apprehend him and freeze him, while the rest of his crew escaped. Now, mind you, a heavily injured, wounded World, nope, that wasn't enough to send him to impel down. They froze him because they didn't want to take any chances that this dangerous bastard could ever get out of impel down. Several decades later, he breaks free. Now on to Zephyr. Zephyr is pretty much the poster boy of what a Marine is supposed to be. He's a poster boy. Besides Monkey D. Garp, Zephyr was the poster boy. Heroism, altruism, self-sacrifice, devotion, loyalty. The dude gave everything to the Marines. He gave everything to the cause of justice. As a kid, he wanted to be a hero. He wanted to help people. He joined the Marines at a young age. This dude is battle hardened. And on top of that, he was really proficient in hockey, earning the epithet of Black Arm Zephyr. He had a wife and kids, and he lost them to pirates. Even then, he still kept on being a Marine. And he grew close, and he had his own crew. And when he lost his crew and his arm, even then, he still stayed with the Marines as an instructor. And this guy has pumped out some of the greatest influential figures in One Piece at this time. Sakazuki, Kizaru, Aokiji. Some of the most influential and well-known vice admirals in One Piece, in the Marines. This dude has been making a lot of strong soldiers. He's pretty much poster boy. Besides Garp, he's pretty much a hero. But it was only when he found out that the pirate that killed his crew and took his arm became a Shichibukai that he had enough. And they quit. And on top of that, he created his own Neo-Marine group to destroy all pirates. So we get up to the matchup now. Byrnndi World, the World Destroyer. The guy that the world government deemed so dangerous that he'd attack anyone and anything that crossed his path. Zephyr, the poster boy of the Marines turned renegade. The guy who literally wanted to destroy the whole world because it was just full of evil. Just full of evil. And he just couldn't stand that the Marines and the world government was so tolerant of it. And I think Zephyr has a really good point. The dude lost his wife, his kids, his crew, his arm. And what did he get in return? I'm sure he got a cool prosthetic arm, but still. So now we get to basically abilities and combat and prowess. Now, in this fight, before the fight even begins, we have to come up to this point that Byrnndi World is still younger than Zephyr. Although Byrnndi World is 78 and Zephyr is 74 at the time period, Byrnndi World was frozen. So he's still ripe in his prime. Zephyr is still kind of aged, although really strong. Really strong for his age. He was able to give Borsalino a good fight for his money. With Logia abilities and Pika Pika no Mi and everything and all his skills combined, he still was able to give Borsalino a good run for his money. As well as Luffy. So with Byrnndi World, we have the Moa Moa no Mi. He is really proficient in hockey, and he knows several Roshiki techniques. With Zephyr, we have his Battle Smasher, which has a destructive cannon inside, machine gun. It also is with Sea Stone, and on top of that, he has hockey. Proficient in hockey. It's his epithet, for Pete's sake. On top of that, we're not going to include their super weapons. We're not going to include the Dynastones that Zephyr had, and we're not going to include the massive super cannon that Byrnndi World was threatening to destroy Maryjoy with. Those are out of the question. Those are not in this fight. This is basically a one-on-one fight. This isn't a crew-on-crew or anything like that. Just between the two of them. And I think we're going to get down to the battle scenario right now. Since it's like 6 minutes in, I don't want to bore you guys with all the details. I don't know. But how I think this battle would start out is that they're not going to give either one of them the home field advantage or anything. They're just going to be on an island in the middle of the New World. Byrnndi World is just another renegade pirate that Zephyr manages to come across. Like Zephyr managed to come across Luffy and his crew. They just managed to cross paths in the New World. And Zephyr, with his aggressive streak to attack anyone and anything that he comes across. And Zephyr, with his absolute distaste of pirates, they immediately clash. I think that Byrnndi World, in the beginning of the fight, would make this a ranged fight. Considering that Moa Moa no Mi allows him to increase the size and velocity of objects, I think that Byrnndi World would try to play it safe in the beginning, just to gauge where Zephyr is at. And Zephyr is probably going to use his Battle Smasher's cannon or machine gun to fight this ranged battle as well, just to gauge what Byrnndi World's Devil Fruit abilities are, just to gauge what Byrnndi World is capable of physically. And once they get a good gauge of each other's power and strength, then the gap is going to close and it's going to go down to hand-to-hand combat. With Byrnndi World able to increase his own speed and velocity with his Moa Moa no Mi, as well as his proficiency in hockey and able to code himself fully in it, this is going to be a pretty hard fight for Zephyr. Given the fact that Zephyr has faced plenty of other fighters that have been pretty fast, Luffy in Gear 2nd and Kizaru, and hold his own against him. He fought Luffy to a stalemate, which is something World didn't manage to do. World did manage to tank several hockey-infused punches from Luffy, but Z fought Luffy to a standstill. And given Luffy collapsed, Zephyr was still able to handle the Marines. He went down fighting the Marines. I think at hand-to-hand combat, I'd probably reluctantly have to lean to Byrnndi World. I'm going to have to reluctantly lean here. Because considering Byrnndi World is still in his prime. Remember, he was frozen. He's still younger. And in the fight with Kizaru, Zephyr still had lung problems. He still had breathing problems. When he was fighting Luffy, he had breathing problems. And Luffy still was able to smash Zephyr's Battle Smasher, his prosthetic little arm. This little lunky thing. He was still able to smash it, leaving Zephyr with basically his two fists. And just simply hockey-infused punches against one another. And given that Zephyr hasn't been shown to be able to code himself fully in hockey, but Byrnndi World has been shown to code himself in hockey, and he was able to take punches from Luffy like it wasn't anything, I'd say that if this was a battle of endurance, I'd probably give this to Zephyr, but if this was a battle of endurance, I'd give this to Byrnndi World. I give this to Byrnndi World because, like I said, Byrnndi World was frozen. He's still in his prime. He doesn't have the same problems with age and the setbacks that Zephyr would have. And I think around the end game of the battle between Byrnndi World and Zephyr, Byrnndi World would have already smashed Zephyr's Battle Smasher. I think that Zephyr would have got a couple of good blows in, considering that he has hockey, and he would be at times in the middle of the battle able to negate Byrnndi World's Devil Fruit, given that the Battle Smasher is laced with Sea Stone, so he would be able to negate some of the effects of the Devil Fruit and get some good blows on Byrnndi World. But at the end of the day, his physical condition just doesn't allow him to go the distance of this fight. And I think that he would eventually succumb to his own physical condition. And given the fact, or given at least what has been portrayed in the movies, Byrnndi World has shown more proficiency and more feats using hockey. So, reluctantly, I'm going to have to give this to Byrnndi World. I still like Zephyr. Zephyr's a pretty cool dude, but Byrnndi World probably win in my opinion. Comment who do you think will win in the fight, why, and also what other fights would you like to see? How do you think I did in this video as a hypothetical fight scenario altogether? Because I'm really kind of nervous, so, you know, if I'm a little bit iffy about some things in the video, just know I'm kind of nervous, and this is my first time reintroducing the series again, so it's not going to be perfect, but hopefully it will get to a point where it's, you know, watchable over time. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Bye.